He is real. This is not a clay model or a plastic model. Did you see that? Oh no, it got on my back. Not good. After the last, let's call it a success, video where I showed you my reaction to short videos, shorts, TikToks, whatever you want to call them, I decided to continue this series, and in today's episode I'll show you again various strange videos that I found or that you sent me. So thank you very much for all those links, because you really send me a lot of them, and I thought it would be cool to just watch a few of them, show you some of them, and see what your reaction and mine will be. I've already seen it, so let's see how I react. Let's start. There's a spider, and it's a big spider, yes, a very big spider. Well then, what can I say about this movie? I won't be revealing anything new if I say that this movie aims to show the size difference between two spiders, two tarantulas. The small yellow and black spider at the movie's start is from the Hapalopus genus. These are very popular spiders in Poland, especially the one I assume is in this movie, which is currently Hapalopus formosus. That's its current name. It was previously called Hapalopus speculatus. Columbia gross means it's from Colombia, and it's considered one of the dwarfs, right? These are spiders that for tarantulas grow to quite small sizes and basically are also not very venomous, since they are found in South America. Yeah, nothing special, but everyone has their own preferences. This beast appears to be a spider, likely Theraphosa blondi, though it could also be Theraphosa alpophysis. Spiders from the Theraphosa genus are generally large, and this one is real. They can reach this size. It's funny they put it on either a plate or a lid. If that's a plate, it's a very interesting comparison, because usually, for example, in popular science books, I've often come across the statement or claim that the largest spiders in the world, meaning the Theraphosa genus, the Goliath bird eaters, can grow with a leg span as big as a dinner plate. So this short video perfectly illustrates that, and on top of that, it's really a massive female. And seriously, it's amazing. One of the largest sizes, if not the largest, that these spiders can reach. And when it comes to Goliath bird eaters, of course, I showed you the spider that's sitting right here. Yes, here is my large, though possibly already adult, female Theraphosa apophysis. She's hiding back there behind that whole piece of cork. You know her. She's my biggest spider and massive. I hope she molts soon, since she's so full from eating. It would be good if it finally happened. And if this happens, if this female lived with me for another 10 years, she could reach that size. Let's move on to the next video.
Hey, how are you? How are you? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, bro, what's up? Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Gatka szmatka.
Understandable. Have a nice day. A nice day. Sir? I think it's trying to bite me. Think it could bite? Let's let you bite.
But how much strength he has in those jaws, it's incredible.
What?
Crazy, right? Right, this is a movie that, as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to include it in this series. Attention, this beetle is absolutely real. What's more, I'll tell you in a moment what species it belongs to. And I know what species it belongs to because I know these beetles inside out since, well, I'm just interested in them, right? This is a beetle from the genus Ctenocellus, which has 4 species found in South America, such as Brazil and Peru. This is specifically Ctenocellus acanthopus. And I was incredibly happy that I found this video, because there are very, very, very few videos. I mean, there are few photos and even fewer videos of live specimens of large beetles from this family. And this is the Bothrideridae family that we can find on the internet, right? We can find plenty of photos of prepared dead specimens. In fact, we can even buy such a beetle on eBay, for example. But to see what it looks like alive and to find a video with this beetle, you really have to search hard. That makes it even harder. I'm just glad this video was found. This beetle is part of the Prioninae subfamily. It's tough to translate this into Polish. You could use dylążowe, though it's unclear what that means. Since Prionus coriarius is called diląż garbaczy in Poland, let's just refer to them as dylążowe. These beetles are, for example, very closely related to this big guy here. This is a very large specimen of the species Titanus giganteus, which also belongs to this subfamily. And a lot of beetles from this subfamily have something called large and very strong mandibles. In general, these beetles are known for being able to bite through to the blood, and sometimes even to the bone, so it's not pleasant at all to be bitten by one of these beetles. This specimen is actually my last chance to show you this beetle. It's real, right? It's not a clay model or a plastic model. It's real. Something like this actually exists, for example, in French Guiana. This is the last chance for me to show you this beetle because I sold it a few days ago. It's no longer mine, I just need to ship it. It's sold for about 4 minimum wages, which is a lot. And simply, this film brilliantly shows, first of all, the behavior of these beetles. They are very, very timid, but at the same time they realize that they can bite hard and that they have very strong and very sharp mandibles. This is shown, for example, by the fact that the guy actually lifted. By the way, do you know what this is? It's that white thing that's being lifted by the beetle. It's a butterfly breeding net because there are some moths inside from what I saw. So he just lifted it. It's not heavy, but it does weigh a bit. And considering that it's just a beetle, it's just an insect. Well, it has very strong jaws. It also bit a guy there, and I'm telling you, those razor-sharp mandibles make for an unpleasant bite. Whew. Tomek, next one. I think this is the giant tarantula, Lasiodora parahebana. Yes, and I wanted to show this video here because wait, let me just turn it down. It perfectly shows how spiders like tarantulas lay eggs and seal them in a cocoon, right? Because we know that spiders lay eggs, they're oviparous animals, right? And very often you can come across videos where someone takes a tarantula's cocoon, right? The tarantula has a white ball removed, which contains eggs or nymphs. And that's exactly what the process of sealing such a cocoon looks like. I mean, those eggs. In the initial phase, they're practically in a form, maybe not exactly liquid, but it's something like caviar, right? They just float in this kind of fluid. The female pulls them out of her abdomen onto a mat lined with spider silk, and then she starts sealing that silk in layers. In the end, the cocoon forms a multi-layered ball, protecting the eggs and then the nymphs before they hatch. By the way, this movie is, well, great. It's rarely possible to record this, since these spiders usually make cocoons and lay eggs in seclusion within their burrows, away from any stimuli. If you record something like this and speed it up into a time lapse, that's brilliant. Ah yes, this is a video that a lot of people have sent me lately, really a lot of people, and this video... it shows some kind of machine, either construction or agricultural, I don't know. And on this construction machine there are hundreds of spiders. I can tell you now, and you can probably guess where the video was filmed, obviously Australia, right? And now the fact that this video is filmed in Australia doesn't necessarily mean that the spiders shown are deadly dangerous, extremely venomous, and that their only goal is to wipe out humanity. No. It's just that there are a lot of them because there are a lot of spiders there, that's all. Genius. If you walk around the nearby buildings in the middle of summer, you'll also notice that, for example, under the eaves, there are a lot of spiders, and it's a similar situation, only these ones are just a bit more visible. What are these, you might ask? These are cross spiders, well, in big quotation marks, cross spiders. These are spiders from the Eriophora genus, which are very close cousins of our cross spiders. They also belong to the same family, the Aranidae family, and they're basically the Australian equivalents of our spiders. Nothing special, they just, if they're around, there are a lot of them, they make webs, and if they cover construction machines and someone notices, well, that's a simple recipe for a viral hit, an internet sensation, and so on. But generally here, well, it might sound bad, but there's nothing to get excited about, you know? I mean, it's Australia, there are spiders, it's a normal thing. It's worth realizing that these spiders are just very pretty. Especially, I think the females, they're the ones with the white stripe on the abdomen. They're really beautifully colored. So what do we have next? It's just... There's panic. I mean, panic is starting. Because it's amazing how sometimes people who have spiders react to them. Notice that at first, the girl in the video had no problem at all picking up the spider, just like you normally pick up spiders, grabbing it by the sides of the cephalothorax and putting it on her hand. But once the spider was on her hand, suddenly she started getting nervous. Something was going on, even though the spider seemed very calm. I don't know. I can't see, I have no idea what species it is. Maybe some kind of a phonopelma or something. On one hand, this reaction is understandable, but on the other hand, I totally don't get it. I mean, if the girl isn't afraid to put her hand in to pick up the spider, but then once the spider's on her hand, she gets a bit scared. Maybe it's because such a spider could possibly bite you when it's on your hand. Yes, that would explain a lot. No, it's cool. It's great that she's fighting her fear, because you can see that the fear is still there somewhere, and that's perfectly okay. He even stepped on her foot, and there's this whole help me vibe. Exactly. Ah, good. We're reaching the last movie, which is excellent, with an interesting backstory. Listen, one of the viewers sent this to me, I think 2 days ago. And it's a movie I found on TikTok, on that famous, very interesting app. Here's what it says. The oil beetle appeared in Poland, is harmful, very poisonous, and its larvae attack bees. Damn, 0.03 grams. Its poison can kill a human. Please watch out for this creature in the forests. I went on TikTok and left a few comments under some of the author's other posts. Basically, the author had no clue about what he wrote here because it's full of nonsense, and the comments were even more ridiculous. So here, well, it's just not good overall. This is an oil beetle. Yes, that's right, it's an oil beetle. The oil beetle, or Meleagris scarabaeus, is a blister beetle commonly found in Poland. That's not true at all. It didn't just appear in Poland, it showed up in Poland hundreds, I don't know, maybe thousands of years ago. Poland didn't even exist back then. Thousands of years ago. Anyway, it's a beetle, an insect that I also recorded a video about recently because I came across it on one of my field trips. You can check out what it's like to encounter such a mellow in the wild in Poland. That was near Wrocław. These insects are common in Poland, appearing in early spring and roaming fields and forests. Usually in fields with low vegetation. Forests aren't the natural habitat for these blister beetles. They prefer clearings, meadows, fallow land, or wasteland. Oh, like that. I don't know what the way is. The lethal dose of cantharidin, the toxic substance blister beetles release when threatened and have in their bodies. What's more, cantharidin is very dangerous in large doses, but a single beetle absolutely can't produce enough cantharidin to kill a human. If you eat such a beetle, you'll just get diarrhea. So there's absolutely no reason to panic here. Secondly, that was also a statement made by the author of this TikTok. Someone in the comments asked if those beetles can fly, and the author casually replied, "Ha, they have wings, so they fly." And here's another truth, those beetles don't fly. Their wings are vestigial. And with beetles, it's like this. I'll use this example again. With beetles, they have two pairs of wings. What you see here, this large part made up of two covers, those are the first pair of wings, which through evolution have been transformed into wing covers. Not all beetles have them because, for example, female fireflies don't have them, but most beetles do, and most beetles have them in the normal form, meaning they cover the entire abdomen. And they not only cover the entire abdomen, but also cover the second pair of wings, which are used for flying and which most beetles use to fly. And these oil beetles, they're kind of like big ants. They're plump, thick, and as you saw, they have these tiny covers, which are actually the first pair of wings. They're very reduced, and underneath there are no flying wings. That means they can't fly. And as a result, they have trouble moving over long distances, for example. Another thing that's written here is that they attack bees, right? Was it that they attack bees? The larvae attack bees. Well, in a way that's true, because blister beetles are parasites of bees, but on the other hand it's not entirely accurate. Basically, these larvae attach themselves to the bee. In other words, the larvae, called triongulins, they climb up a plant where bees come to visit. And if a bee lands on the flower, the larva attaches itself to the bee and in this way gets transported to the nest. That's basically how it works. Blister beetles are bee parasites, but do they really attack bees? One rabbi says yes, another says no. Lastly, I wanted to mention cantharidin. Cantharidin was also used medicinally. And there's something called the blister beetle. It's a different species of blister beetle, very beautiful, green and shiny, which was called the Spanish fly. And the Spanish fly, which is actually the blister beetle, or Lita vesicatoria, because that's its scientific name, is a beetle that contains quite a lot of cantharidin. Compared to other blister beetles, Spanish fly has a much higher cantharidin concentration, And you can find photos, for example, of whole jars filled with dried corpses of this cantharidin beetle, because that's another name for it. It was only used there for medicinal purposes, can you believe it? Stories like that existed. That's all I have for today. I hope you'll take something away from these TikToks. An interesting mix. Beetles, big spiders, and smaller spiders. But that's not the end yet. My dear friends, as you probably remember, in the last episode I showed you a certain spider that was actually molting during the recording of that episode. This is the spider. Here's the thing. I also said that if this spider molts and I record the next video, I'll show you its amazing colors. This spider has, well, it molted, and finally I can show it because it's just an absolute marvel. It's nothing other than an adult male of this spider, which comes from the Dominican Republic. This is a Formictopus sps Dominican purple. I just need to give the world a better look. Alright, so to put it briefly, the spider is completely purple-blue. Just check this out. This is just so amazing. Adult spiders, like this male, have incredibly intense colors on their thighs. When they're fresh, though, you can't see it now. Maybe I'll just poke him with my finger. He's like this right now, you know. Wow, you saw that for a moment, right? Come on, it's amazing. You can't deny it, right? Seriously, the spider is so awesome. Oh, crap, crap, crap. It got on my back. Not good, not good. No, 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 get off. Get off, get off, get off, get off, get off. Okay, it stopped, so I can look at it more closely now. So, that's exactly what I was telling you about. Carapax is kind of blue-violet. We have very, very deep blue thighs. It's a beautiful spider, and since it's an adult male, I don't need it'll be up for adoption soon. I did raise him from a baby from a tiny little one, and it took me 3 years to raise such a blue creature. And now I'm going to look for a female for him, but now the problem is what? I have to somehow get him back into his home. Oh, well, that went better than I expected. Okay, I jinxed it. So this is the spider with the amazing colors I was telling you about. I highly recommend keeping Formicopuses to everyone, especially this one. There's just so much to admire. With this blue accent, we end today's episode. Let me know if you liked it. Of course, those likes, thumbs up, and all the other things I usually don't mention. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!